I worked for a construction company for over 30 years. I'm currently in the position of president. Our top line revenue is between 13 to 15 million annually, 26 team members, and the owners are ready to retire, and they're giving me an opportunity to purchase the controlling portion of the business, with the non-controlling portion being given to their adult child. So my question is, should I purchase this business, given there will be debt involved and a silent partner?
I wouldn't want to be the silent partner because you have control. You're going to own more than 51%, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what's the net profit on the business?
Generally, we're around, this past year, we're right around, gross margins were 15%. Net profit, once it was, our G&A overheads out, we're right around $1 million.
Okay. And what percentage are they wanting to sell you and for how much?
The percentage would be 55%, and total price would probably be a little over $3 million. So my portion of that would be roughly, call it $1,550,000. And that would be on a 10-year loan and no collateral other than the stock of the company. So I'm not putting my personal assets as collateral against the debt.
Okay. So they want you to pay them $1 million over 10 years for your portion of $1 million profit, and you get 55%.
Correct.
Why do they want the kid staying in?
That's kind of a long story. The long and short of it is that spouse is part of the team, and so it's just a way to keep a portion of the family involved over time.
So the kid's wife works there?
Correct.
But you can't fire her? Can you fire her?
No.
Never?
We haven't gotten that far into the weeds yet.
I wouldn't do that deal.
Never.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that deal because then you really don't have control.
Right.
Because no matter what you do, she's going to pee on it.
Right.
That's going to be bad. If she decides to go sideways and be toxic and you can't get rid of her, she's going to screw up the whole thing. So she has to be fireable. So here's the thing: the weeds are the problem. If the only reason they want this kid to keep this is so his wife has a job, she's pretty lame. If she can't just go get a job,
right.
That's weird. Yeah, the way I'm going to protect her is she's really not really protected. I'm confused. So here's the problem. All right, the only ship won't sail is a partnership. This guy he has what's called a minority position in a small business, which means he has nothing. Because you could run this thing in the dirt and you don't need his opinion, and his 45% becomes worth nothing because you screw it up. And he can't say a word about it because he doesn't really have a vote. He's a minority shareholder. Right. And so I'd never get into minority shareholder positions ever. So the only position I would consider is yours, but I don't want him in there. And I sure don't want her in there if I can't fire her if she's misbehaving. Yeah, I want to explore further, if I'm you, the real motivation for him being left in the deal. It's like their dream of their son taking this over died, but his wife still works there, so we're going to try to keep some portion of this dream alive by letting him still have some of it, even though he doesn't give enough about it to work there. Yeah. Right. That there's something, it feels like that there's some unfinished business emotionally in this family that's showing up in this deal. And I just don't want that to come back and bite me if I'm you. I'm kind of thinking out loud here with me, John. If I'm saying something's out of school, you just tell me.
No, You're correct.
Okay.
If I could get her removed completely and just buy the entire company outright, that's a much better structure to do the deal.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And still put it on 10 years.
And especially if it's just the collateral, the stock of the company.
That's the only way you do it. That's the only way you do it. Okay. And I'll even put one nuance on the end of that. But yeah, I just don't, because otherwise, here's what you've got to deal with in the negotiation otherwise. You're going to have to deal with whether or not she can be exited. If she can't be exited, you've got to walk from the deal. That's not going to be you, because you really don't have control. It's a misnomer. You own the business, but you can't do it. You have controlling interest in the business, except for one thing: a woman that can tear up or a man that can tear up the whole place because they can't be fired. It's like a dadgum bureaucrat or something. So, then the second thing is you've got to get into what happens in all of the events that. We call them the D's in a partnership agreement. There's all these things that start with D, the letter D, that can happen. And when they happen, what happens to his shares? Divorce, disability, disinterest, default, drug use. He's in jail for cocaine. How do I keep him how do I exit him as a partner? He dies. He's I don't want to be partners with his ex-wife or his wife or his kids. What are we doing with all this? And so you've got to deal with all these negative possible outcomes and what happens to his shares in that event. For that matter, what happens to your shares in that event? Because he's got a minority position. He's going to want to know what happens to your shares if he's got a brain. And so, this deal is really messy. And if you don't have a lot of cleanliness, a lot of cleansing to this deal before you do it, you're going to have problems. And obviously, we started with the big one, which is being able to exit her. But you got to be able to deal with what's going to happen here. And I would just ask the question, what is the real barrier to me just taking the whole thing? Because I actually want it.
Right.
And I will keep her as long as she's performing.
Mm-hmm.
As long as she's a good team member. I'm not trying to exit her. But I'm not going to be held hostage by her either. So, I think you'd be better off paying twice as much and owning the whole thing. I know you would be. And that probably rings really true because you see all the function and dysfunction of this family in front of you, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And that's what I'm trying to protect you from. It's got to happen. And there's no reason for them to hang around if they're not going to hang around. They need to exit. It needs to be clean.
Makes sense.
I'm sorry your son didn't want to run it, but I don't want to be his partner.
Right.
It's not because I don't like him. It's because I don't want any partners. I want to take this thing and I want to honor all the hard work we've all done together by making it very successful for the next few decades. And you guys can look over here with pride and say, I'm so glad I sold that to John because he's done such a great job with our old family business. And I'm real proud of him and what he's done. I want you guys to be able to say that about me, and I want you to look over here and see that. There's nothing about this other deal that it talks about the future. This other deal only talks about the past, and that's your son and us guaranteeing your daughter-in-law a position. And I'll guarantee her a position as long as she's a quality team member.
Right.
I'm not trying to run her off, but if she misbehaves or she quits doing her work or quits coming to work or whatever, then I won't be able to keep her like everybody else we do here. So, that's how I would handle it, John. Now, back to the other part, that instead of 10 years, let's say, okay, if it's, let's change the numbers. We have $1 million bottom line total, correct? Regardless of the percentages.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And you make what now? What's your current income?
Buck 85.
And you make that 85 and then the $1 million occurs, correct?
Correct.
And I assume some of the owners also have a salary before the $1 million occurs, correct?
Correct. That is correct. All
right. So that's going to mean we got a little bit more than $1 million to work with because their salaries are going to be gone.
Correct.
All right. And we're buying this for, if it's $3 million, $6 million. We're not buying it for $6 million. It's not worth that. Okay. A business should be worth somewhere around 4, maximum 5x of the net profits.
Okay.
That's a 20 or a 25% rate of return for an investor. If I were buying this business and I bought it for $2 million and I made $1 million, I make a 50% rate of return. You follow me? If I buy it for $3 million, I make a 33% rate of return. Now, was the $3 million for your 55 or the total price?
That was the total price.
Oh, good. Okay, $3 million. It is worth $3 million.
Right.
That's a 30. So it might be worth a little bit more actually. So anyway, somewhere around in there. And so, okay, I'm going to pay you $3 million over 10 years. That's $300,000 a year. That's 30% of profits. So what I'm going to agree to do is to pay you guys 45% of profits each year, each month for that matter. We're going to close the books each month, and I'm going to pay you 45% of profits until we get to $3 million. That should take us a little less than 10 years.
Right.
But if profits are down, I'm not in default. If you have a fixed payment, if you have a fixed payment and profits go down and you're in the dadgum construction business, hello?
Right.
Yeah. And so if you have a downturn and you have a year where you make $500,000 and the dadgum payment's $600,000, that's not going to work.
Right.
So you go out of business and because you had a fixed payment. So I want your payment to be a percentage of profits, and you can have the books be audited once a year. That's fine. And what I'm going to do if I'm you is I'm going to pay them more than that and get to the $3 million super fast. I'm going to try to live on my 85 or maybe 100 and put almost the whole million and try to be done in 3 or 4 years.
Right.
But I'm going to exceed. But it's a percentage of profits, somewhere around 40, 50% of profits, until we reach $3 million or until I pay you $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you're going to accelerate it and get out of there in about 3 years, 4 years. If you put $1 million a year to it and you kept your salary and you even raised your salary to include the part that they didn't collect anymore because they're not there anymore collecting salaries, then you'd be done in 3 years and never have changed your income. That'd be pretty sweet.
Right. I would.
As a matter of fact, that might be, let's think about this. I'm making this up as I go. Instead of 40%, if we said 80% of profits, which would pay them out in 3.5 years, that might be the leverage tool that pries them loose from the kiddo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm willing to do this to get rid of the kiddo. That's not what we're going to call him, but I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of 10 years, why don't we make it 3.5 because it's 80% of profits you get until we reach $3 million. And I'll just take the whole thing, and I'll do that and work for my current salary so I don't have to have any partners.
Yeah.
You get your money super fast.
Right.
That's a sweetener. 3 years instead of 10
years. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. This was fun. I hope it helps.
Let
us know let us know if you get it, okay?
I will. Thank you very much, Dave.
Hey, God bless you, man. Appreciate you calling in. Cool discussion. Unless you're the kiddo. Yeah, then you're not going to like Dave, but oh well. That's how this works.